Laziness is nothing more than a habit of choosing to relax before you are even tired. You go into something already thinking about the end. You haven't even put forth the effort needed to become tired. You haven't earned the right to be tired, to go take a break, to go relax. But you're already thinking about the end result before you have even put in the work to have an end result. So you choose to just stop. You choose to not take action. That in itself is the definition of lazy. We often say you don't like to do anything, you're lazy. But oftentimes people will start to do something and then they won't continue. They won't stay consistent. So everything that they start, they never finish. When you don't compound the results of starting something and finishing it, whether it's good or bad, whether you've met the threshold, whether you've met the end goal of whatever you started, whenever you continuously stop doing everything that you set out to do, you put yourself in a position to call yourself lazy or be called lazy, because it's a mindset behind that. It's something that you're telling yourself. We think about things, and there's some of us, most of us, we're human. We let our thoughts dictate our actions. So you go into it with the intentions of completing something, but you never get to the end goal. You worried about, how will I feel? You know you're going to be tired. Obviously, whatever we do that's worth doing, whatever we seek that's worth having, it's going to be some pain and suffering involved with that until we get what we want. But when you go into it already regretting the end goal, the work involved into it, you put yourself in a position to where you think about that more than you think about actually doing whatever it is that you need to do. You trick yourself out of progress. Ultimately, you trick yourself out of success, because once you say, I'm not going to do it, what happens? You don't get anything done. For the people that's outside looking in, not that their opinions matter, but we know people judge us. People catch on to your behaviors. They keep seeing you do the same thing. So what do they say? You're lazy. But if they're saying it, and oftentimes the majority of people that say something about you or about someone, they're probably right. Not only are they saying it, but you will start to say it. You will start to tell yourself, I'm lazy. So how do you defeat laziness? You have to work. You have to detach from how you feel, and you have to focus on where you want to be. Your fear of failure has to be far less than your urge to be successful in whatever it is. I oftentimes say we're not just talking about money, and we're not, although money is important. Even if you want to wake up and clean your house, your home, wash your car, work out, you have to think about the consistency, the rewards that come from doing it consistent versus, man, I don't feel like going to the gym today. I really don't feel like cleaning up my home today. I really don't feel like washing my car today. Even if you taking it through a car wash, a business where you drive your car through and the machine washes it for you. Sometimes we don't even want to do that because I don't feel like walking outside. I want to just lay down. I want to just relax. There's nothing wrong with relaxing. Earn the right to relax. Everything is earned. I'm a big believer in earning. We do more. In return, we receive results. We receive a response. And within those responses, in the consequences of our actions, good or bad, consequences are not just bad. We're earning something. We're earning the right to say, I'm the best at this. We're earning the right to say, I accomplished this. We're earning the right to say, I know this based on acquiring knowledge and actually going out and practicing what I've learned. It's earning. You have to do more than you feel. And most of the time, you have to ignore your thoughts. If your thoughts are saying don't do something for the sole fact that we don't feel like it, but you know it's great, it has a great impact on your life, it's important, you have to focus on what's important, not what you feel. You are always going to feel. You're human. No one can take that away from anybody. We're not robots, okay? But we have things that we must do that we don't feel like doing. That's going to get you where you want to be in life. Don't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter where you're at right now. If you do more regards to getting better and ignore your thoughts of the risks and what if this doesn't happen, over the long term, you'll be more happy with your accomplishments in life. You will remove yourself from the definition of lazy. You have to ignore your thoughts. Become useful. Don't be useless for yourself first. Before you can be useful to anybody else, you have to be useful to yourself. Laziness is nothing but a choice. There are more power in our choices than there are in our circumstances. Everybody has circumstances. Everybody have problems. It's how we choose to deal with our problems. It's what we choose to do in our circumstances that will either get us out of our circumstances to a better, more fulfilling circumstance, because everything is a circumstance, or we'll sit back and we'll put ourselves in a position where we regret not taking a chance, not making the right choices, not making the right decisions, and our circumstances, more often than not, they become worse than what they are. It's not genetics, it's not inheritance, it's a decision. Change is never painful, only the resistance to change. Ignore the pain, focus on the change. It's going to be resistance. Laziness is a decision. You have to make a choice to get past the resistance. How do you defeat it? You're possibly never going to defeat it. What you're going to build a habit of is just continuously going through resistance, because you're going to always wake up and say, I don't feel. What's that saying? The guy that goes to the gym, whether he likes it, whether he feels like it, whether he wants to or not, will always go to the gym, versus the guy who only goes when he feels like it. The person that wants to be successful will do and continue to do no matter what they feel. The woman who wants to be successful, no matter what she feels like doing, will always be successful so long as she's doing what she needs to do to get to where she wants to be. It's easier said than done. That's life. Because no matter how much you feel, no matter how much you think, what do you have to do? You have to make the choice. You have to make the decision. No one is going to do it for us, right? I tell myself this every single day. I have a lot on my plate. Husband, father. I work a lot. I have a lot of things I'm involved with. I have a lot of things I have to give my attention to. So I give my attention with intentions. You understand what I'm saying? I have to overcome my thoughts daily, because I always want to take a break. I don't have days off, because I perceive everything to be work. If I'm not actually working, trying to build my business, focusing on my investments, focusing on ways to make more money, invest money for my children, for me and my wife's retirement, guess what I'm doing? I'm spending time with my family. Now, I know that's not work, but it's attention. I have to give attention with intention to my family. That takes away from me doing what? Relaxing. My children are babies. They run around. They want to have fun. When I want to sit down and go to sleep, no. I'm going outside. I'm going to the park. I'm taking them to Disney World and Disneyland and all over the place. We're everywhere. I'm always doing something. The only time when I relax is when I take those 4, 6, sometimes 8 hours of rest that I get. Not consistently, but I have to sleep. That's it. Once I'm up, I'm always on go. I'm not telling people to go. I'm saying let's go, because I'm the leader. I'm in control of everything. But that takes me focusing on progress. Every time I say let's go and I'm leading the way and everybody follows, but I'm leading based on us having results, not how I feel. Oh, I'm a big bad man. No. We're trying to progress in life. Every time I do that, I get better and better and better. I'm focusing on the end result, not how I feel. Because you could be ambitiously goal-driven, or you could be consciously lazy. You could be nonchalant. It's still a choice. First, it's a thought. Then it becomes a choice, because you have choices. And then what do? We make decisions. And then we turn those thoughts, choices, and decisions, that specific process, into a habit. And we do this shit every single day. And it holds us back. As a man thinketh, so is he, right? If you think it, you'll believe it. If you think it, believe it, you'll do it. It's a thought. You have a choice. You make a decision. It's the same process. It's always process of elimination. You don't defeat laziness. It's always going to be there. You just know how to approach it. You know how to deal with it. It's not what happens to us, right? It's how we respond. You can put that towards everything in life. You can think about that specific statement right there whenever you sit down and you try to make a decision in your life, whenever you have thoughts that run through your mind and you sitting there, you say, well, I'm thinking about this. Should I make this decision? Should I make this choice out of all choices? I have multiple decisions. I have multiple choices because I have multiple thoughts. But in this situation right here in front of me, in the present, not the past or the future, how do I make the best decision? How do I come up with the best choice? How do I pick the best choice out of many choices? You have to separate your feelings and you have to go about the end result. Don't make emotional decisions and then defend it with logic. Make logical decisions and then, if you want, justify it with emotions. But if you make logical decisions and you justify it with emotions, it's a strong possibility that you're going to make the right decision, and your emotions are going to be based on you accomplish something, versus you making decisions on emotion and then justify it with logic and you end up regretting doing something. You see what I'm saying? But in real time, you have to focus. You have to literally and utterly put your mind to what's going to be more beneficial for you. How do I know that? Because I failed. I got my ass kicked continuously in life. And I started to say, this isn't life itself. This is me responding to this shit. So what do I have to do? Sit my ass down, stop being stubborn, stop going through life with my ego and pride and say, do this with logic. I don't feel like doing it. It doesn't matter what I feel like doing. This is what I need to do, because a year from now, 5 years from now, based on my prior experiences, I'm going to be in a better position versus me doing it on emotion, based on me doing it because I want to be lazy and I want to relax and I want to take some time off. I would be in a better position, because when I did it based on my emotions, I always put myself in a position I didn't want to be in. And it took me longer to get out than the time that it took me to get into that situation, that circumstance. So it's logic first, justify with emotions. Don't do things with emotion and then justify with logic. It's an oxymoron. It's counterintuitive. In the end, you're putting more work onto yourself by doing it that way. In my opinion, obviously do whatever you want. How do you defeat laziness? You don't defeat it. You always have a certain approach to it, because it's always going to be something that's going to have resistance. The pain of ignoring the resistance needed to change is far greater than you going through the resistance and changing. Why? Because if you wait long enough, the resistance that you are ignoring, it becomes heavier and heavier to the point where you may not even be able to move it ever. You know how some people just give up on life? If you sit down and have a conversation with them and ask them, why did you come to the point where you just gave up? They'll tell you, I had so many opportunities to change something and I never did. And it got to the point where I never could come out of it. Why? Because I'm of age where if it take me 50 years, I'm probably only going to live 20. Not everybody gets to live to 100. Some of these people that you may have these conversations with, they're going to be 60, 70, 80 years old. There's no way in hell they're going to live to be able to get themselves out of that situation. Somebody's going to have to come and help them. But the majority of us are all also going through that process. We can't put our problems down to go help somebody else with theirs. Like I always say, don't stop watering your grass because you're trying to see if somebody else's grass is greener. Just focus on making sure your grass is green. And if it has room to become healthier, then you allocate your time to make sure you put whatever needs to be put into your grass so that it continues to be healthy. If you can take some time off to go help somebody, that's fine. But the majority of us can't, because it's the process of life. We're learning. How do you defeat laziness? You don't. You have an approach towards it, whereas you're going to always attack based on what you need to do, not what you want to do. And you'll be far greater in life than someone who doesn't, because of their being stubborn, their ego, and their pride.